There's a version of you that's very good at being okay. Exceptionally good, actually. Good at showing up, holding it together, saying exactly the right thing at exactly the right moment, and feeling somewhere underneath all of that competence, like an actor who's been in the role so long they've stopped remembering what they were like before rehearsals began. Think about the last time someone asked how you were doing. Not someone close, a colleague, a relative at some family gathering, someone whose question was really more of a greeting than an actual inquiry. And you answered them, smoothly, immediately, almost before they'd finished asking. Jung called this the persona, the social mask we build not out of dishonesty, but out of something much more understandable than that: survival. The word itself comes from the Latin term for the masks worn in Greek theater, and Jung was deliberate about that choice. He understood the persona as a genuine adaptation, something we constructed early, shaped by what got us accepted, what kept us safe, what made us tolerable to the people our entire world depended on. And honestly, I want to sit with that for a second, because I think we're too quick to frame this as a flaw. The psychology here isn't vanity, it's intelligence. Your nervous system very early on read the room and learned which version of you that room could hold, and it built accordingly. The reframe that matters is this: if you can feel the gap between the mask and the face behind it, your authentic self never left. It's been there the whole time, waiting with a patience you probably haven't shown yourself. The mask was never the betrayal. Forgetting it was a mask, that's where the real ache starts. There's something else here, and I don't think there's a clean answer to it, which is actually why it's worth staying with. Think about the times you said yes when everything in your body was quietly, persistently saying no. A career path that looked exactly right from the outside. A relationship you stayed in not because it was working, but because leaving felt like proof of something you didn't want to prove about yourself. A version of success you spent years chasing because someone whose love mattered enormously to you once made it clear, not cruelly, maybe not even consciously, that this was the kind that counted. Gabor Maté, who spent decades working with people whose bodies had absorbed what their lives couldn't metabolize, makes a point that I find genuinely difficult to sit with. Many of us disconnect from our authentic needs so early that we stop experiencing them as needs at all. We feel the disconnection as ambition, as responsibility, as being a grown-up, when really, and this is the part that deserves real tenderness, it's a very old strategy for staying loved by people we couldn't afford to lose. Jung's individuation, the slow and often uncomfortable work of becoming who you actually are rather than who you were formed to be, isn't about dramatic transformation. It's quieter than that. It's about recovering access to what was always yours, your instincts, your grief, your actual desires. And here's what I want you to hear. The exhaustion of carrying a life that doesn't quite fit isn't a personal failure. It's your psyche working overtime to hold together a story that was written for someone adjacent to you but not quite you. That kind of tired is pointing somewhere. It's worth listening to. I'm genuinely glad you stayed with this, not because you've just absorbed some information, but because something in you recognized something in this, and that recognition matters more than any framework I could offer. The persona kept you safe. It probably still serves you in ways worth acknowledging honestly, not dismissing. But there's a real and important difference between wearing a mask with awareness and slowly forgetting the face beneath it. Individuation, coming home to yourself, isn't about burning anything down. It's about building, slowly and carefully, the inner trust that makes being known feel survivable. First to yourself, then, when it feels right, to others. You don't have to perform your entire life. If something here landed close to something you've been quietly carrying, I'd genuinely love to hear about it in the comments, not as engagement, but because that conversation is usually where the real thinking happens.